What up, y'all? It's your boy, Mr. Downtown Ray Melo, and you're listening to the Entertainment Report on iHeartRadio, live from Dubai for Wednesday, January 24th, 2018, delivering some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo, that's RAYMELO, on Twitter at The Enter Report, or on Instagram at The Entertainment Report. You can listen to the show anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or your iHeart phone app, search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. The romantic fantasy The Shape of Water led the field with 13 nods when the 90th Academy Award nominations were announced in Los Angeles Tuesday morning. Film stars Tiffany Haddish and Andy Serkis read the names at a press conference. The nominees in the top categories are, for Best Picture, the nominees include Call Me By Your Name, The Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. For Best Actor, the nominees include Timothée Chalamet for Call Me By Your Name, Daniel Day-Lewis for Phantom Thread, Daniel Kaluuya for Get Out, Gary Oldman for The Darkest Hour, and Denzel Washington for Roman J. Israel Esquire. For Best Actress, the nominees include Sally Hawkins for The Shape of Water, Frances McDormand for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Margot Robbie for I, Tonya, Sarah Ronan for Lady Bird, and Meryl Streep for The Post. For Best Director, the nominees include Paul Thomas Anderson for Phantom Thread, Guillermo del Toro for The Shape of Water, Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird, Christopher Nolan for Dunkirk, and Jordan Peele for Get Out. For Best Actor in a Supporting Role, the nominees include Willem Dafoe for The Florida Project, Woody Harrelson for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Richard Jenkins for The Shape of Water, Christopher Plummer for All the Money in the World, and Sam Rockwell for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. For Best Actress in a Supporting Role, the nominees include Mary J. Blige for Mudbound, Allison Janney for I, Tonya, Leslie Manville for Phantom Thread, Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird, and Octavia Spencer for The Shape of Water. For Best Original Screenplay, the nominees include The Big Sick, Get Out, Lady Bird, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. For Best Adapted Screenplay, the nominees include Call Me By Your Name, The Disaster Artist, Logan, Molly's Game, and Mudbound. For Best Documentary, the nominees include Abacus, Small Enough to Jail, Faces Places, Icarus, Last Men in Aleppo, and Strong Island. For Best Song, nominees include Mighty River from Mudbound, Mystery of Love for Call Me By Your Name, Remember Me from Coco, Stand Up for Something for Marshall, and This Is Me for The Greatest Showman. For Best Cinematography, the nominees include Blade Runner 2049, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Mudbound, and The Shape of Water. For Best Costume Design, the nominees include Beauty and the Beast, Darkest Hour, Phantom Thread, The Shape of Water, and Victoria and Abdul. For Best Animated Feature, the nominees include The Boss Baby, The Breadwinner, Coco, Fernand, and Loving Vincent. For Best Animated Short, the nominees include Dear Basketball, Garden Party, Lou, Negative Space, and Revolting Rhymes. The winners will be announced at the Oscar Gala on March 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ABC. Jimmy Kimmel will host the event for the second consecutive year. Danny McBride is the son of Crocodile Dundee in a new teaser for a mysterious project that also features Chris Hemsworth. The clip released Monday features McBride arriving in Australia, where he meets up with Hemsworth, who questions whether or not the comedian is really the son of Crocodile Dundee. The project, titled Dundee, the Son of a Legend Returns Home, has a summer release date. The synopsis reads, Crocodile Dundee is back. Well, actually, he's missing in the outback, and the only person who might be able to find him is the loudmouth American son no one knows he has. This son of a legend is forced to channel his Aussie roots as he embarks on the ultimate adventure in the land down under. It's time to live up to the family name. A previous teaser trailer featured McBride wearing Crocodile Dundee's signature outfit and uttering, "That's not a knife, this is a knife." The original Crocodile Dundee starred Paul Hogan and was released in 1986. The hit film went on to spawn 2 sequels, Crocodile Dundee 2 and Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles. Hogan, while speaking with People magazine, says that he will be reprising his role in the new project. Hogan says, Crocodile Dundee is a film that has stood the test of time. It was a defining moment in my life and one of the proudest accomplishments. Throughout the past few years, I've been thinking about how to bring Dundee to a new generation. I'm excited to introduce the new Crocodile Dundee to the world and look forward to sharing more news about those involved very soon. John Cena is being eyed to star in a film adaptation of the Duke Nukem video game series at Paramount. The WWE superstar is in negotiations to appear in the project for Platinum Duns, the production company run by Michael Bay, Andrew Form, and Brad Fuller, Variety reported. No director is attached, and the studio is searching for a writer to develop the script for what will be a starring vehicle for Cena, noted the Hollywood Reporter. Duke Nukem, first released in 1991, was a primarily first-person shooter series that followed a cigar-smoking, politically incorrect macho action hero of the same name as he protected Earth from aliens. Cena has already appeared in Daddy's Home 2 for Paramount and will be seen in the studio's upcoming Transformers spin-off Bumblebee, which Bay is producing. Ryan Reynolds has signed a 3-year first-look deal with Fox and is developing a film based on the board game Clue with the studio. Fox is staying attached to Reynolds and his Maximum Effort production company after the actor starred in Deadpool, which grossed $783 million worldwide, the studio's second-highest grossing film behind Avatar, Deadline reported. Clue, based on the Hasbro board game of the same name that tasks players with solving a murder mystery, is the first film Reynolds is attached to produce under the new deal, along with Maximum Effort and Allspark Pictures, the film division of Hasbro. The film is being developed as a starring vehicle for Reynolds, who will be reuniting with Deadpool writers Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick on the project, noted the Hollywood Reporter. Clue was previously adapted into a film in 1985 that starred Tim Curry, Madeline Kahn, and Christopher Lloyd. Reynolds will next be seen in Deadpool 2, which hits in theaters on May 18th. Game of Thrones star Peter Dinklage says it's the perfect time to end the show. The 48-year-old actor who plays Tyrion Lannister on the HBO series explained in an interview with Variety why it makes sense for the popular drama to end with Season 8. He says it's time. Story-wise, not just for all of our lives. It's the perfect time to end it. Sometimes shows stay on a little too long, and the jumping the shark thing. Dinklage said it will be bittersweet to say goodbye to Tyrion and move on from Game of Thrones. He shared, "It's always a sad part of our business. We get pockets of great people for a short amount of time, and then you have to move on. It's always heartbreaking, especially when you've spent more than a couple of months with people." Game of Thrones, which co-stars Kit Harington, Emilia Clarke, and Lena Headey, will return for an 8th and final season in 2019. Dinklage will next star in the Reed Morano film, I Think We're Alone Now, and recently expressed interest in the Star Wars franchise. He said during an interview with Morano with IMDb, "I just want a part." Game of Thrones started production on Season 8 in October. Dinklage told Variety the cast and crew are really taking their time with the final season. And a related story, Maisie Williams will be among Sophie Turner's bridesmaids at her wedding. The 20-year-old British actress said in an interview Sunday with Radio Times that she's already agreed to serve as a bridesmaid at her Game of Thrones co-star's nuptials to Joe Jonas. Williams said of the position, "I already got it. It's very, very exciting. It's kind of bizarre, though. We'll wait to plan until the season's done," she added, referencing to production on Season 8. She says, "I think she's already letting her little heart wonder and imagine." Turner and Jonas, an American singer, got engaged in October after nearly a year of dating. Williams was among those to congratulate the couple at the time on social media. She wrote on Instagram, "Congratulations to my beautiful girlfriend on her engagement. This is just one of the many life milestones we'll share. Love you both." Laverne Cox is making history as Cosmopolitan's first transgender cover star. The 45-year-old actress appeared on the February cover of Cosmopolitan South Africa. Cox struck the pose in a black one-shoulder bodysuit on the cover. The Valentine's Day theme, #SayYesToLove, issues highlights LGBT issues. Cox wrote on Instagram, "I'm honored and proud to cover the February issue of Cosmopolitan SA." Chief and Editor-in-Chief Holly Meadows told Paper Magazine Cosmopolitan wanted to focus on the LGBT community and examine love as a, quote, acceptance of self, others, and non-binary relationships. She has nothing but praise for Cox. She says she is the world's most vocal transposter girl and activist for the transection of race, color, and gender equality in identities, challenging toxic masculinity, white supremacy, and the misrepresentation of trans people. Cox is known for playing Sophia Bursett on the Netflix series Orange is the New Black, which will return for a 5th season in June. She also produced the MTV documentary The T Word. Hoda Kotb said she might tie the knot with boyfriend Joel Schiffman. The 53-year-old Today anchor discussed her future with Schiffman on Tuesday's episode of The Ellen DeGeneres Show ahead of daughter Haley Joy's first birthday. Kotb told host Ellen DeGeneres, "Maybe we might. I feel like everything is great. He's Haley's dad. I'm Haley's mom. We're together." She explained, I feel like there's not a rush other than we're old, and if we're going to do it, we might as well do it. I think it's fun like this. I don't mind it. We're doing our lives. Yeah, I think we're good this way. Kotb adopted Haley in February and subsequently confirmed she would raise her daughter with Schiffman. She told DeGeneres that Schiffman immediately supported her desire to adopt. The star recounted, I was 52 and I thought about having kids for a long, long time. One day I was sitting with my boyfriend and I said, I have to talk to you about something because I can't push it down anymore. Push it away. Don't answer now. Take a day, take a week, take some time. And she continued by saying, he said, okay, what is it? And I said, I would like to explore adoption with you. Keep in mind, he has a daughter who is in law school. He's a guy who's about to turn 60. He looked at me and said, I don't need a day. I knew I had chosen the right man. Haley Joy will celebrate her first birthday on Valentine's Day, February 14th. Kotb shared a cute photo last week of her daughter and Schiffman wearing New Orleans Saints gear the day of the team's NFC playoff game against the Minnesota Vikings. She captioned the picture, we love you at Saints. Here's to next year. Busy Phillips and Michelle Williams were among those to mourn Heath Ledger on the 10th anniversary of the actor's death. Phillips flew in to support Williams on the anniversary of Ledger's death Monday. Williams and Ledger split in September 2007 after 3 years of dating, just a few months before the actor died at the age of 28. Phillips said in an emotional video on Instagram stories that the MGMT song Time to Pretend reminds her of Ledger. She later shared a photo of Williams leaning on her during a somber outing. The star captioned the picture, "It's okay." Williams and Ledger started dating in 2004 after meeting on the set of Brokeback Mountain and welcomed daughter Matilda next year. The pair's Brokeback Mountain co-star Jake Gyllenhaal also paid tribute to Ledger on Monday. The actor told E! News, "Friendship cannot be explained in a soundbite, nor it can be a 3-minute interview. And those who can do it, I find sort of odd. It happens to not be one of those people." He added, "I think Heath meant a lot to a lot of people, the people who are fans and the people who saw his work and were moved by his work and the people who knew him as a person. He was just as incredible force and is still missed." In addition to Brokeback Mountain, Ledger was known for such films as 10 Things I Hate About You, A Knight's Tale, and The Dark Knight. South African star Candice Swanepoel is expecting her second child. The 29-year-old Victoria's Secret model announced her unborn baby's sex in a video featuring Annika, her 15-month-old son, with fiancé Herman Nicolai. The clip shows Swanepoel inviting her son to kiss her baby bump. The model, who wears a crop top and shorts, cradles her son's head as he pecks her growing belly. She captioned the clip, "My boys." Swanepoel announced in December that she's expecting her second child with Nicolai. She previously told British Vogue that motherhood has made her feel extra protective towards her children. The star said, "I can't watch movies or even commercials where kids are in any kind of danger now." She added, "The last 2 movies I watched were Lion and Mama with Penelope Cruz, and I mean just bawling on the couch. Oh my God, they are both so beautiful, but you just won't get through it." Swanepoel was named a Victoria's Secret Angel in 2018. She has also modeled for such brands as Givenchy, Versace, and Oscar de la Renta. Macaulay Culkin says Paris Jackson is a close and beloved friend. The 37-year-old actor discussed his friendship with the 19-year-old aspiring actress on Monday's episode of WTF with Mark Maron podcast. Culkin confirmed, "I'm close with Paris," before telling host Mark Maron he keeps his relationship with Paris, the daughter of late singer Michael Jackson, private. He says, "I'm going to warn you now that I'm very protective of her, so just look out. I'm a very open book when it comes to things, but like with her, she is beloved by me." Culkin said he keeps quiet about Paris because of his love for the star. He told Maron, "I'm just letting you know, if we want to start going down that road, it's going to be a dead end, because I mean that in the fact that I love her so much." He said before telling Maron that the teenager is doing well. "She's tall and beautiful and smart. It's great." Culkin was a friend of her father, Michael Jackson, is the godfather of Paris, and her 2 brothers, 20-year-old Prince Jackson and 15-year-old Blanket Jackson. Paris dedicated an Instagram post to the Home Alone star on his 37th birthday in August. She wrote, "Happy birthday, I love you." Josiah Duggar announced Tuesday that he's officially courting. The 21-year-old television personality confirmed this relationship with family friend Lauren Swanson in a video on the TLC Me website. Swanson said with a smile, "We are officially courting now." Duggar shared, "I came up behind her at a meal while she was hanging out with some of my siblings and surprised her and sat down. I asked her to go to the next level of friendship, to courtship, and she said yes." Duggar, the 8th child of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar's 19 children, says he and Swanson have similar families with shared goals. He and Swanson have been friends for a while and spent a lot of time together. The star explained, "For us, a courtship means just a really good time for us to focus on different things and learn more about each other with the goal of marriage in mind. Learning, hey, is this really the one?" Duggar said in an interview with People that he and Swanson are overjoyed to begin this new phase of their lives together. He says, "It's truly an exciting time for us as we take this big step in establishing a relationship, getting to know one another, and even better, and praying towards our future. We are thankful to God and our families for the love and support." Duggar and his family came to fame on the TLC series 19 Kids and Counting, and now starring Jill and Jessa Counting On. This is a Ginger Duggar announced this month that she's expecting her first child with Jeremy Favulo. Two passings to report. Science fiction and fantasy author Ursula K. Le Guin died this week in Oregon. Her family announced Tuesday she was 88. Le Guin official's Twitter account confirmed the author who wrote The Left Hand of Darkness and The Wizard of Earthsea died peacefully at her home in Portland on Monday. A post said the family of Ursula K. Le Guin is deeply saddened to announce her peaceful death yesterday afternoon. Le Guin's son, Steele Downs Le Guin, didn't specify the cause of her death, but told the New York Times that she had been in poor health for several months. Born Ursula Kerbler in Berkeley, California on October 21st, 1929, Le Guin became known for writing stories about sorceries and interplanetary conflicts that infused feminist sensibilities and subverted ideas about gender. At the LA Reviews of Books last year, Le Guin described facing struggles working in the genre due to her gender. She said, "For a woman, any literary award, honor, notice of any sort has been an uphill climb. And if she insists upon flouting conventions and writing science fiction and fantasy and indescribable stuff, it's even harder." She was first published in 1959 and went on to write more than 20 novels, a dozen books of poetry, more than 100 stories, 7 collections of essays, 5 volumes of translation, and a guide for writers. Her breakout novel, A Wizard to Earthsea, which was published in 1968 and became part of the series in the next few years that included The Tombs of Atuan and The Farthest Shore, as well as later entries as Tahanoon and The Other Wind, released in the early 1990s and 2000s. In 1969, Le Guin published The Left Hand of Darkness, which was about a planet where people aren't assigned a gender, but rather adopt one for brief periods of reproduction. She said of the book, "I eliminated gender to find out what was left." The Left Hand of Darkness has been reprinted more than 30 times, and many of her works have been translated into more than 40 languages, selling millions of copies worldwide. Le Guin was awarded the Medal of Distinction of Contribution to American Letters at the 2014 National Books Awards. She dedicated the honor to her fellow fantasy and science fiction authors, who she says has been, quote, excluded from literature for so long. Le Guin was 88. And Hugh Masekela, a legendary trumpeter who was known as the father of South African jazz, has died at the age of 78. Masekela's family confirmed his death on the musician's official Twitter account Tuesday, along with a statement. The statement says, "It is with profound sorrow that the family of Rampolo Hugh Masekela announced his passing. After a protracted and courageous battle with prostate cancer, he passed peacefully in Johannesburg, South Africa, surrounded by his family. A loving father, brother, grandfather, and friend, our hearts beat with profound loss. Hugh's global and activist contributions and participations in the areas of music, theater, and the arts in general is contained in the minds and memories of millions across 6 continents, and we are blessed and grateful to be part of a life and ever-expanding legacy of love, sharing, and vanguard creativity that spans the time and space of 6 decades. Masekela, who released more than 40 solo albums throughout his career, is known for working with legends like Louis Armstrong and Miles Davis, and performing alongside Janis Joplin, Otis Redding, and Jimi Hendrix in the 1960s with the Monterey Pop Festival. Masekela toured with Paul Simon in the 1980s and released an anti-apartheid anthem such as Soweto Blues in 1977 and Bring Him Back Home, Nelson Mandela in 1987. He returned home to South Africa following Mandela's release. The trumpeter also performed at the opening ceremonies of the 2010 World Cup in Johannesburg. South African President Jacob Zuma said in a statement, "It is an immeasurable loss to the music industry and to the country at large. His contribution to the struggle for liberation will never be forgotten." Masekela was 78 years old. Britney Spears announced on Twitter Tuesday that she's taking her Las Vegas residency show Piece of Me on tour. The pop star said, "I'm so excited to announce that we're bringing the Piece of Me tour to selected cities in North America, Europe, and the UK. See you guys this summer." The announcement included a video of Spears performing Toxic on stage in Las Vegas. The tour begins July 12th at the MGM National Harbor in National Harbor, Maryland, before wrapping up August 2nd at the O2 Arena in London. Tickets on sale for selected theaters and cities begin on January 26th and 27th at 10 a.m. local time. Spears ended her Las Vegas residency with a special performance on New Year's Eve. The residency was started in December 2013. Neil Diamond announced on Monday that he has been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease and will immediately retire from touring to get treatment. Diamond said in a statement, "It is with great reluctance and disappointment that I announce my retirement from concert touring. I've been so honored to bring my shows to the public for the past 50 years. My sincerest apologies to everyone who purchased tickets and were planning to come to the upcoming shows." The legendary singer-songwriter was in the midst of a 50th anniversary tour. Remaining dates in Australia and New Zealand will be canceled. Diamond says he plans to continue writing, recording, and other projects for a long time to come. Diamond says, "My thanks goes out to my loyal and devoted fans around the world. You will always have my appreciation for your support and encouragement. This ride has been so good, so good, so good. Thanks to you." Diamond will turn 77 on Wednesday. On January 28th, the Recording Academy will honor Diamond with the Lifetime Achievement Award. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2011. The singer is one of the top-selling musicians of all time, with more than 125 million records sold and 38 songs reaching Billboard's Adult Contemporary Top 10 list throughout his career. And now let's take a look at what happened on this date in entertainment history. On this date in 1967, Aretha Franklin's career is reborn. Respect, Chain of Fools, and You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman are the passionate gospel-charged classics with which Aretha Franklin is most closely associated. They were enormous, career-defining hits that earned her universal and eternal acclaim as the Queen of Soul, among others, more formal honors. What some fans may not realize, however, is that when Aretha recorded those hits, she was already 10 years into a professional career that would have been defined very differently had it ended before January 24th, 1967. That was the day of which Aretha Franklin's career was effectively reborn in a historic recording session at Musha Shoals Sound Studios in Sheffield, Alabama. The road to Musha Shoals led to Columbia Records, where Aretha Franklin languished for 6 years without a breakthrough hit. Worse than that, Aretha's recordings from 1960 to 1966 show almost no hint of her roots in gospel music. Columbia Records was as mainstream could get in the 1950s and 60s, and their goal was to cast Aretha as an all-around pop entertainer in the mold of Johnny Mathis. The head of Columbia, Mitch Miller, was the man who nurtured the recording career of Doris Day, who passed on signing Buddy Holly and led millions of Americans through songs such as Be Kind to Our Weak-Footed Friends on his proto-karaoke television show Sing Along with Mitch. Under Miller's guidance, the closest Aretha came to a pop success was with the song Rockabye Baby with a Dixie melody in 1961. When her contract with Columbia expired, Aretha Franklin decided to make the pivotal decision to sign with Atlantic Records, the label that introduced the world to Ray Charles, Ruth Brown, Big Joe Turner, Laverne Baker, and the Drifters. Atlantic's Jerry Wexler knew the direction he wanted Aretha to go, and he sent her to Sheffield, Alabama as a first step. It was there that she recorded the blues ballad, I Never Loved the Man the Way I Love You, backed by the now legendary Musha Shoals rhythm section. With the lush production Columbia had forced upon her stripped away, Aretha Franklin finally began sounding like Aretha Franklin. Aretha would say years later of the career transformation that began at Musha Shoals Sound Studio on this day in 1967, "They made me sit down at the piano and the hits came." Also on this date in 2006, Walt Disney announces $7.4 billion purchase of Pixar. By the end of 2005, Pixar had become a giant in the world of movie animation, and on this date in 2006, the company that brought the world the blockbuster hits Toy Story 1995, A Bug's Life 1998, Monsters Inc. 2001, Finding Nemo 2003, and The Incredibles 2004, was sold to the Walt Disney Company, their longtime distributor, for a staggering $7.4 billion. Since 1993, when Disney and Pixar signed their first three-picture deal, Pixar films have won 19 Academy Awards and grossed more than $3 billion at the box office. Their pioneering techniques in digital animation, Toy Story was the first animated film to be completely computer-generated, had set a new standard, blazing a trail that others companies had struggled to follow. In the same time period, Disney's own animation unit had released more traditional, more animated films that were either modest success, such as Lilo and Stitch, or flops, such as Home on the Range in 2004. Its first completely computer-generated effort, Chicken Little in 2005, was profitable, but had nowhere near the success of The Incredibles, which grossed $200 million domestically and won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature Film. Despite the success of the Pixar-Disney collaboration, Pixar CEO and Apple co-founder Steve Jobs had reportedly clashed with Disney's longtime chairman and CEO Michael Eisner. In January 2004, Jobs announced that Pixar would begin talks with other distributors. Roy Disney, the nephew of Walt Disney, subsequently led a shareholder revolt, and in the spring of 2004, Eisner received a 45% non-confidence vote from shareholders and was stripped of his chairmanship. Eisner announced he would step down as CEO in September 2005, 1 year before his contract was set to expire. His replacement was the company's president, Robert A. Iger. One of Iger's first moves was to work on repairing the relationship with Pixar, whose latest contract with Disney was set to expire in June 2006 with the delivery of its next film, Cars. Under the deal announced that January and formally completed on May 5th, Jobs would serve as director of the Disney board, while John Lasseter, a former Disney animator and the leading creative force behind Pixar's films, would become chief operating officer of the animation studios, as well as the principal creative advisor at Walt Disney Imagineering, which designed and builds the company's theme parks. In a conscious effort by Pixar to maintain its unique creative process and non-traditional corporate cultures, the two companies remain physically separated, with Pixar's maintaining its headquarters in Emeryville, California. Disney is based in Burbank. In June 2007, Pixar and Disney released Ratatouille, which would become Pixar's third highest grossing film, behind Finding Nemo and The Incredibles, and won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature. And as your entertainment report for Wednesday, January 24th, 2018, I'm your host, Mr. Downtown Ray Melo. I'll be back tomorrow to deliver some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo. That's RAYMELO. On Twitter at The Enter Report, or on Instagram at The Entertainment Report. You can listen to this episode or any previous episodes of The Entertainment Report anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or your iHeart phone app, search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. Good night, and God bless you all.